First, the very most important thing in sales by far is gaining rapport. Sounds simple, but for some reason, people don't do it. I'll give you a prime example. I'm in the process of selling a house in the United States. It's actually been a nightmare, to be honest with you. And I had to send a bunch of notarized documents to the States and to the closing attorney. And I called the closing attorney to confirm that they got them because I'm quite worried about it. We're getting close. And I call the closing attorney, and here's me. I go, ring, ring. Okay, but don't worry. A couple of you, I'll tell you what this is later. I'll call the closing attorney and ring, 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 ring. Forever to answer. Kate Law, can I help you? This is what they sound like. Kate Law, can I help you? I'm like, for a second, I almost feel like I'm burdening them, being a burden. I'm like, yeah. Good morning, Sally. My name's Max Garcia, calling for Carrie, please. What's it regarding? Well, it's regarding the fact that I'm giving you all a whole lot of money to help me close my house from overseas, and I want to confirm she received. Please hold. That's how they are. And Carrie speaking, and I'm like, yeah. Good morning, Carrie. Max Garcia here. I'm working with you for 354 Harrison Avenue. How are you doing today? Good. How can I help you? That's how she is, or that's how she was. And I tell you, because of that, I will never, ever do business with these people again. And I experienced the same thing here local, call, I don't know, about getting the spa serviced or law maintenance. Have you all experienced this too? You call somebody and you want to give them money. You want to buy their service, and they're talking to you almost like as if you're inconveniencing them. You all know what I'm talking about, right? And so when someone calls you to inquire about your product or service or emails you, make it a point to first gain rapport. Get them to relax and lower their guard. This is a massive mistake people make, especially over email, because email can often be misunderstood inadvertently for almost being disrespectful, because people don't put in any small talk. Oh, how are you? Great talking to you yesterday. None of that stuff. Just like, where's my stuff? Here, sign this and get it back to me. That's how it sounds on email. So when someone calls you, yeah, sure. I'd absolutely love to help you with that. Thank you for reaching out to me, out of all people. Just curious, where are you at, by the way? Oh, I'm in Camden. Oh, beautiful town. Absolutely love Camden. Love the beautiful fairy lights at night. Fred's had to be one of my favorite restaurants, and I love the coffee factory, whatever. And you say a few things like that, and it's going to get them talking. Oh, yeah, I love that place too. Or my aunt runs a place. Or you're going to have small talk. And this has been especially crucial for me, being a foreigner. And I know that sometimes people are a bit intense talking to me. I get two types. I get the types who really want to talk to me because they either want to travel to the States or they've already traveled. But then I get the other people who are like, who's this freaking American guy that's infiltrated our group? That's other kinds of, but then when I meet them, I make it a point. I'm loving the smile, by the way. I make it a point to say something like this. I'll ask them, oh, so you from around here, this and that, or if they ask me, why are you here? Or what are you doing here in Macarthur? I'll say this. I'll say this like this. I'll say, well, my wife is a true, proud Camdenite. And I'll say that like that. And when I do, I always get two things. I always get a laugh, and I almost always get a question back from them. Oh, your wife's from Camden. Oh, what's her maiden name? Where did she go to high school? What year did she graduate? I mean, as soon as I say my wife is a Camdenite like that, it lets them know that I know about it enough to use the word Camdenite, which I feel cool doing. And instantly, I can see them lowering their defenses, and they start relaxing and talking with me. And then they ask, oh, well, what do you do and how does it work? And it's almost like, rather than a sales pitch or a negotiation, it's like just a conversation. So that's how you want to feel. Crack a joke when you can. Remember this, funny equals money. Find any kind of commonality, because, oh, I'm from there too. Oh, I like rugby too, or whatever it is. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen. People tend to like people they are like. People also tend to trust people that they are like. So this is a challenge for me. So I very much have to play this card carefully. So remember also, as you're gaining rapport, to be confident about the product or service that you're selling. I know a lot of people feel a bit guilty about selling. They feel like, they don't want to come across like a sleazy salesman, or they don't want to feel like they're being too pushy. But be confident. And remember this, assuming you have a business that's moral and ethical, which I know everyone here does, and your product or service adds to the world, adds to someone's life in some way, shape, or form, not only should you sell it to them, it's almost like you have a moral obligation to get your product or service into the hands of as many people as possible. I mean, on a bigger scale, think about it like this. If you say had the cure to cancer or AIDS and you're in the medical field, what would you do to get people to buy that product from you? You would jump up on top of their desk. You would do whatever it takes. So assuming you believe in the product or service you provide, and I've done business with pretty much everybody here, and I know that your product or service is worthwhile, sell it to them without hesitation because you're doing them a favor. Because I hear, especially in our swing groups, a lot, I see people talking about their business with such low confidence. They're like, yeah, I'm an accountant. If I can help you, give me a call. Or I see them in their pitch, especially in our combined meetings. They're like, yeah, my name is Greg. I'm an accountant. For all your accounting needs, call me. And they're saying it like, call me if I'm the last accountant on earth and you're desperate. That's how they say that. And if you come across that like you don't believe in the service you provide, it's going to translate to the other person. I wonder if I should trust them and believe in them if they don't believe in themselves. I mean, if you think about it, the number one real estate agent in the world wouldn't say, so if you think you want to sell, call me. He wouldn't do that. He or she wouldn't do that. They would say, listen, I recommend you sell now while the market's hot, because if you wait until the next COVID recession, it might not turn out that way. Or if I were someone like Michael Ashcroft, or I were the number one, financial planner in Australia, rather than saying, if I can help you develop a financial plan or plan for retirement, give me a call. If you talk like that, yeah, okay, I'll think about it in the back of my mind. But someone who's really solid in what they're doing, like Michael Ashcroft, is probably going to say, really, you're 50 and you don't know how your retirement's going to look. You're not set up. You don't even know how your super is being invested for you. They're going to be like, look, come by my office today. I have an opening at 2 or at 4. Which one is best for you? By the way, that's called an alternate assumption, where you assume that the person wants to do business with you and you give them 2 small choices, not too many choices, because they won't make any decision at all. And don't leave the slate open like, when are you available? Let me know, because they'll never take the action. You got to give people small numbers of options. And again, and by the way, doing that, you also sound like you're in high demand, that they should do business with you. Look, come by the office tomorrow. I've got an opening. I'm pretty busy. I've got an opening at 1 or at 3. Which one works best for you? As I shake my head in a yes-like manner, because that is direct communication to the subconscious mind. Again, I told you all before, going like this, first word that comes to your mind is the word yes. Going like this, first word that comes to your mind is the word no, which is leading me to my next part. So as you're saying, yeah, okay, well, great. I'll tell you what, let's meet up tomorrow for coffee and talk about this, as you go like this, because then they're going to think yes. Or if I were someone like Michael Niles and I'm working to get someone to refinance their home, and they're, I don't know, we might wait. And then if I were Michael, I would use the no technique. I would say, yeah, but you don't want to wait until the interest rates go back up, do you? As I'm going like that. I'm exaggerating a little bit now, but you don't want to wait till the next recession to sell your house, do you? We're in COVID and this and that. If I were a real estate agent, again, I wouldn't be teaching all these things if I didn't think you were using them for the greater good, because they work very, very well. Next, once you have a good rapport with a client, next, elicit their outcome. Listen more than what you talk. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Forgive me for saying that so harshly like that, but and I make the mistake too. A lot of times us in sales, which is what we all pretty much are in, we're shoving down the client's throat. This is what we can do. This is what I do. This is what rather than listening to their situation and then shaping what we do around helping them, which obviously goes much easier. Now, once you've elicited their outcome, make it a point to turn up the pain on what happens if they don't do business with you. For example, if I were someone like Daryl, I wish Daryl was here today because I love real estate, and I'm going to use real estate as a lot of examples. If I were someone like Daryl and someone called me and said, yeah, we're interested in this house you have we're looking to upgrade. I'd gain rapport. Oh, where are you living at now? How's it going? And if they said to me something like, yeah, we're looking to upsize. We just had our 4th kid and we're living in a 3-bedroom apartment. Well, if I were Daryl, I would instantly turn the paint up on that. I would say, wow, you're living in a 3-bedroom house with 4 kids? Must be driving you crazy. Must be causing you a lot of stress. I know you want to get out of there as soon as possible, and I'm going to help you do just that as soon as I can. I'm going to do everything, whatever it takes. Then you become their consultant, their friend, rather than someone trying to sell them something. Of course, I'm exaggerating the turning up the pain part, but you get it. You remind them how much it's not good for their current situation. Same thing over how I used Michael's example earlier. Wow, you're 50 and you don't even know what your retirement's going to look like. Your family's in jeopardy. Meet with me tomorrow at 2:00 or whatever it is. And then as you go like that. So turn up the pain mildly to remind them. And then once you've turned up the pain a little bit, reaffirm what they want by using 2 to 3 yeses, followed by the thing you want them to do. I'll give you an example. So I'll use real estate again. So say if I were Daryl and I'm having an open house and the people walk through the house once. I see the same couple. There's a lot of people there. I see the same couple walk through again. And that second time, they're looking in the closet, seeing if their stuff can fit there, looking in the garage. And then I see them walk through a third time. Now I know they're definitely thinking about it. And then I see they're walking to the back. And then I might walk up if I were the real estate agent and say something like, now I'm gonna say something that they have to say yes to. I might say something like, yeah, that pool is very inviting, isn't it? Of course, they got to say yes. This is known as an arcing statement, by the way, affirmative response conditioning. And then I might say something like, and yeah, the yard for me, for you, I think is the perfect size because it's not too much grass to cut, not too much taxes to pay, but your small children have plenty of room to play in here. I mean, that's a great space, huh? And of course, they're going to say yes. And then I might say, and yeah, that view is, that is just to die for. Of course, they're going to go, yeah. Well, hey, let's sit down and write up an offer. And notice I say, let's. I don't say, would you like to? I don't ask, tell. Let's sit down and write up an offer. I think I can get the owners to negotiate a little bit for you so we can get you out of that old house or whatever. So again, 2 to 3 yeses followed by the thing that you want. And the reason for that is that maybe you've heard the term, if you paid attention in school, unlike me, you've heard a mind tends to travel, or excuse me, maybe you've heard an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted on by a force. We've all heard that, yeah? Well, your mind works the same way. A mind tends to move in the direction of its most dominant thought. So it's easy for the mind to go, yes, 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 yes. So get people in a yes mode. And I'll give you a little secret here that I've never shared with anybody. It's easier in Australia to get people to say yes than any place else on the planet. And I'll tell you why. I love my Australians. I love you guys to death. And for some reason, Australians love to use the word yeah. To a foreign guy like me, it kind of sounds like this when I'm listening to a conversation. Oh, how you going, mate? You doing all right? Yeah, yeah. You still living over there in Camden? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. So Australians love the word yeah more than they love Vegemite. I'm telling you. So listen, next time you're in a conversation, try to count within 1 minute how many times someone says the word yeah. And when you're doing that in sales and you hear someone there in the yeah mode, that's the time to hit them with whatever it is you want them to do. Yeah. Okay, well, look, let's meet up this afternoon. They've already said yeah. It's going to be kind of hard to pump the brakes and say no. And even if they do, then you can come up with a different time or whatever it is. So again, 2 to 3 yeses followed by the thing you want. Last but not least, a few other ways you can directly communicate with a subconscious mind. Kind of how I mentioned this means yes, this means no. A couple other things I was doing, maybe I said it today, maybe I didn't. Remember that the subconscious mind does not know the difference between $1 and $1 million. It doesn't know the difference. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between buy now, like buy now, I'm wondering how long this freaking American guy's going to keep rambling on for, or buy now, like buy my products or service now, BUY now. So if I were someone like Daryl showing a home, I might say something like, Oh, by this afternoon, I'm going to have an offer. I'm going to have several offers on this house. Oh, by the time I put this house on the market, I'm going to be flooded with calls. Oh, by now, I must have had 50 people call about this house. Buy now, buy now, buy now is what I'm speaking directly to the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind only hears buy now, buy now. By now, you're probably wondering what the price of this house is. By now, you're probably wondering if there's any wiggle room in the price. Buy now, buy now. By now, I must have had 50 people look at this house. So if you decide you want to make an offer, I recommend you do it as quickly as possible. You're creating a sense of urgency and using the word want. So if you decide, I'm talking to the subconscious mind now, if you decide you want to make an offer, I recommend doing it right away. Again, direct communication to subconscious mind. You decide you want to make an offer, call me or whatever it is.